anything done because we either scrolled or we were going through Facebook liking stuff. Like we didn't actually get the work done that we were supposed to do. And so when I looked at this KPI tracker, I was like, all right, there's definitely more stuff that I should be doing in my life. And so I got the top 3 people that have been talking about KPI that have implemented it into their business, and not only for themselves, but for their teams as well. And so I wanted to, go over this and each of us see this and learn. And basically, number 1, have a reality check of the things that we haven't been doing for our business. And then number 2, start implementing this not only for ourselves, but for our team. So if you have already been using the KPI tracker, if you have no idea what it is, it's okay. You're in the right place for that today. But if you do and you've been utilizing it, drop a 2 in the chat. And I want to know how many of y'all have been using this or some form of task list daily to get your tasks done. So I'm sure a lot of you are people that like lists. You like to write things down, check them off, highlight stuff, put stuff in your calendar. I love to do that, but I don't actually ever do it. So that's the disconnect between this. And so number 1, I want to make sure that y'all have this out. I reminded my team to print it off. I'm sure many of you already have it, but it's in your eSuite under Document Library, and you search Daily Task, and it'll pull up this KPI tracker, and you can print it off. You can save it in your notes. I really recommend, show it if you have it. I really recommend actually having a tangible copy. If you're on my team, you know that every single time I get on Zoom, I say, do you have your notebook out? Because you're 42% more likely to do something or learn it if you write it down. So I have this list out. I've got it all printed out. If y'all know me and my binder, I've got all of my dividers in here, and it's in the very front of my binder. It's my very first divider here, so that I can make sure I'm getting my tasks done. So I want to make sure you'll have that printed out. If not, you can print it out afterwards, or if you don't have a printer, don't use it as an excuse and write it down on a sheet of paper, okay? I remember when I first got started, I charted on notebook paper, okay? So you can do it. But we are going to jump right on into this, and I want y'all to make sure you have your cameras on. You're not on your phone. You're being respectful of the people that are on here, giving their time and taking their time out of the night for you. You can take your time out and make sure that you're giving them your undivided attention, and make sure you're taking notes on this and making sure that you're not missing out on any of this good information. So ladies, I made y'all co-hosts so that you can unmute yourself whenever you please, or if you have anything to add, but we're going to start with Lindsay. So Lindsay, if you could unmute yourself and share a little bit about yourself. I don't think I've ever had you on the Zoom before, and I called this girl a presidential. She's a triple, but I'm manifesting it for her. So Lindsay, if you could go ahead and kick us off by telling us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I never get nervous, but like it's Shay, so I'm nervous, right? Like Shay's the freaking bomb. So, hi guys, I'm Lindsay, Lindsay Burgundy. I've been in the business now, it was 5 years on July 31st. And Jay, you're not the first person to make that mistake. I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be like funny or cute, but you're not the first person to think that I was a presidential. So love that. So honestly, you guys, if I like got into real depth about my story, we would probably be here 4 or 5 years. So in a nutshell, I'm just going to break it down for you. So I joined 5 years ago with Cassie Westland. We actually went to high school together, and we graduated together in 2012. And we actually lost touch after high school. We were really good friends, and we lost touch. And I will never forget, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in my bed scrolling on Instagram. I kid you not, I had just seen that Cassie had gone diamond. And I was like looking at her post, I was like, dang, this is cool. What does this mean? Like, that's really awesome. Like clockwork, the girl texted me and say, hey girl, I know it's been years, but have you ever considered doing what I do and making an extra income? And I shot up out of bed and I was like, yeah. And then she was like, it's $99. And I was like, oh, no. And I laid back down. I ignored her for 4 months because I had $5 to my name. I couldn't afford a McChicken. Okay. I went to work one day with holes in my pants because I physically could not afford a new pair of pants. And they sent me home because I had holes in my pants and I couldn't afford new pants. I was at the lowest point of my life. And I remember always having her question in the back of my mind. I really did not have $99. I did not have a credit card. I did not have a savings account. I really just had no plan B, nothing to fall back on. And then one day, I'll never forget, my mom was scrolling on her iPad on the It Works website, ready to buy from a distributor. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, my coworker, she sells this lip and eye cream. I'm going to buy it. I'm like, hold the phone. you need to wait. You're not going to buy it. I'm going to join this company and you're going to buy from me. And I don't know why, but I just felt like that was like such a big sign from God. And so I cleaned out my closet, went to Plato's Closet, which is like a thrift store. I sold my clothes. They gave me $75. My mom gave me the extra 25, and I signed up the next day. Okay. So that was like the cool part of me signing up. And in the back of my mind, I really knew I had to make this business work because I didn't have clothes. Okay. I had recently gotten myself into a leased car that I couldn't afford. You know, like when it sounds really good on paper and you're like, oh man, I could totally afford $300 extra a month. And then you actually get the bill and you're like, I don't think I could afford this. So that was another main reason why I joined this business, was because I needed a way to pay for my car. I ended up doing that month one. And it sounds great, right? It sounds like, oh my God, now you're a triple. It must have been amazing. No, I suffer with a lot of mental health issues. And there were times in this business where I literally almost quit because I just couldn't get out of my own head. I was very stubborn. I had a very bad attitude, didn't want to listen to what Cassie had to tell me. She tried to tell me to self-develop. She tried to tell me to be positive. And I was just like, dude, stop. That's not going to work. Like, I wanted somebody to kind of like come and be like, don't worry, I'm going to do the work for you. You just sit back and enjoy. And when I realized that that was never going to happen, I got to work. Cassie actually said to me one day, this is like so crazy, I definitely don't recommend this, but we were friends and like I took it with like a grain of salt. She goes, I don't really know if you're meant for this business. And I was like, I am, and I'm going to show you. So in 2017, I went diamond, earning myself a $10,000 bonus. In May of 2017, I went double diamond, earning myself a $15,000 bonus. And then April of 2018, I went triple diamond. And guys, not gonna lie, this is where my story gets like real and raw. I have been going for presidential now for 2 years. I was 134 as a triple, number 134. I'm currently number 156, although I know that definitely went up with this last prelim. Okay, can I get a what? Okay, and so like I have done the things. I have popped people on my team as triples, as doubles, as diamonds, and I've stayed the course, and I'm so faithful to God, and I know He's gonna bless me. I have an ambassador chart in my bedroom. Like, I know we are not just going presidential, like He's waiting for me to double promote and explode to ambassador. And so I just want to say that if like you have been fighting for a promotion, it's not a sign that it's not going to happen. You know, I knew deep down in my soul, I had a very peaceful feeling. It's called a holy discontent. How many people know like kind of what that means? Holy discontent kind of just means like God is just basically saying, hey, not right now, but I promise you, like you're going to get there. You just have to stay the course. So yeah, for 2 years now, we have been fighting tooth and nail, but along the way, I've been so thankful. Like I said, I'm 156. I'm obsessed with this company. I'm not freaking going anywhere. And so that's my story. Hope you enjoyed it.
Everyone's blowing up the chat right now. You're freaking amazing. I love that. And I swear it's always the people that go through the grit, like go through the valleys and the mountaintops, and then sometimes valleys again, that literally make the most incredible ambassadors because you've been through it. I love that so much. Okay, so I want you to kind of start off really quickly with a little explanation of what KPI is for maybe the people that are like, what are y'all talking about and why am I here? And then what you've done to implement them into your team and your business and how they've changed it.
Yeah, absolutely. So KPI, for those of you guys who don't know what it stands for, is Key Performance Indicator. I'm not going to lie. I watched Amber Parker's YouTube about this. And I actually, after I had finished the YouTube video, I was on the phone with my mom. My mom is the assistant to a superintendent in a school system. And I said, hey, Mom, I'm going to send you something because I don't have a printer. I don't even own a computer. Why? I don't know. I'm on my iPad right now. I've never owned a computer, right? So if like you don't have a printer, that's not an excuse. So I was on the phone with my mom and I was like, hey, Mom, I'm going to send you over some things that I need you to print out for me. And so we're chatting and she prints it out and she was obviously looking at it. She goes, oh, KPI, we have those. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, I mean, basically every business really has key performance indicators. You want to make sure that you're seeing where growth is happening and then where growth isn't happening. So you can kind of like make tweaks, right? Because think about it, every business has a system, like even Chick-fil-A, Okay, believe it or not, like we all love Chick-fil-A, right? And so she was like, yeah, we have KPIs. And I was like, oh, okay. And for some reason, when she said that, it just made so much sense to me that like, I think of like my business, okay, like I am not my business, but I am the controller of my business, which is a machine. And I need to have a well-oiled machine. I need to have a system put into place so that people know what they're doing. We know where we have to grow. I know exactly what I have to do. I'm not aimlessly working towards presidential. And so anyway, sorry, I kind of got off track there. But so I printed it out, watched Amber Parker's YouTube video just one more time, just to kind of really nail it, just to make sure I knew what I was talking about. And I had a Zoom that night with my team, and they freaking were obsessed. So I knew it had to be a staple point in our team. It had to be the system that we were going to go off of, especially for new distributors, okay, who have no idea what the heck they're doing. And especially, how many people, drop a one, if you've ever said, oh my God, but like I'm doing everything. But like Pam Souter always says, if you're doing everything, you would be a black diamond. And I don't see any black diamonds on this Zoom, not even myself, right? So we're all guilty of it at some point. And so, so basically I printed it out. I have all my girls printed out. I personally, when I enroll a new distributor, I get them on the phone that day. That's like a non-negotiable. And I say, hey, on our team page, it's pinned at the top. It's our daily task list, print it out. I'm going to kind of go over that with you so that you have like a step-by-step guide on what to do. Because remember, they don't really know. Like if you say to them, go make a life post, like what does that even mean? Like they don't know what that means, right? And so in my mind, when they have this step-by-step guide, it's just a perfect vehicle to success. So I just make sure that everybody has it printed out. I always used to say that I was not organized. That's a load of crap. Stop telling yourself you're not organized. Stop telling yourself you don't do task lists. Guys, I literally have like the biggest binder ever, okay? And like I can't not be organized, okay? So now my days look so much more productive. I realized where I was slacking, and oh my God, numbers 3 and 4 about interacting, dude, like I was like not even doing that. And I was like, no wonder my posts are not getting comments. I'm not interacting. And so I did tweak it a little bit because you have to understand that not everything is on this list, and you'll understand what I mean in a second. So I printed out. My number 1 rule is enroll. So like above everything, I'm getting people in the system. Yes, numbers 1 through 10 are very important and I am checking them off, but my number 1 thing is that I'm enrolling. And then on the back, I even extend the list. Number 11 is follow up. Number 12 is make sure I do a reel on Instagram. They're fire. If you haven't done them, you need to. Number 13, check in with your new distributors. And number 14 says, did you enroll? So I'm making sure that I'm still getting people in the system and I'm not necessarily just getting caught up with checking things off of a list, because while that's important, we have to remember to get people in the system. Did that answer your question? Sorry, I thought maybe you asked me something else. If you did, just let me know.
No, that is perfect. And I think you answered all the questions in one. So that was great. What was the ones that you put on the back? I'm curious to know what those were. Can you repeat those?
Follow up. I follow up every single day. I don't wait till Friday. I do a reel on Instagram. You guys are not doing that. It's just like TikTok. Okay. Check in with your new distributors. And number 14 says, did you enroll? So that's like my biggest thing, because I personally just like can't go. This is just me personally. Like I just cannot go a day without enrolling. Even if it's a Fat Fighters LC, I'll just be like, oh, you know what? It's 2 a.m. I got a Fat Fighters LC. It's all good.
Yes, exactly. And I think that when you have that written down and you see it every single day, it puts more emphasis on it too. I love that so much. Okay, so I'm probably going to come back to you, but thank you so much for those tips. Those were so good. Okay, Amy, can you unmute yourself and go ahead and share your story with us?
Hey, you guys. Okay, I'm not going to speak about my story for too long. I feel like I'm a grandma at this point. But I have been a part of It Works for almost 7 years. I'm an ambassador diamond. I was a former school counselor, and I literally just joined for $500 a month. But, man, in the last 7 years, I've seen it all. I've seen the ups. I've seen the downs. I've lost rank. I've regained rank, all the things. I've made incredible money and then it drops. Like, you're just going to see all the things if you choose this as your career. Excuse me. With that being said, though, I love this company. I'm not going anywhere. And this is what my soul has been searching for 2 years, y'all. I don't know about you guys, especially in the last 6 months, but my life is crazy. You know, being the virtual teacher right now, being, you know, the mom, the wife, all the hats that we are wearing in this crazy time. I went from having 5 days a week with my kid at school. Now, you know, she's only at school for 2 days a week, and who knows how long that's going to last. So I have been craving a system. And when she was talking about a system, you guys, like, that is what we need. That is what we need to show our new distributors. It's also something that we can hold our team accountable. So when Host to Post got to be a huge deal last spring, I really focused on tracking. And it just makes sense when you're tracking your work. And this is also just like, I believe this task list is a tracker. I truly believe that, you know, and that if there's no profession or company or job out there where you don't track your data. Like, there's just not. And so you've got to have something to hold yourself accountable to, and also something that you and your team can be on the same page, okay? So for instance, I've been doing this for 7 years. I'm at the top. You know, I promoted to ambassador in 13 months. I did all the things. But when I bring someone new into my business, so many times, especially in the last 2 to 3 years, I lost people because I didn't have a system for them. I would try to train them, or I would try to say, you know, hey, just follow my lead, but they don't know how to follow my lead. And even though, like, I think it's super easy because I've been doing this for 7 years, it's hard sometimes when you've been doing it for so long to go back to like how a newbie feels, right? But these are all the things that you need to be doing. And what I love most about the KPI sheet, y'all, is that if you get your Host to Post up, you're going to complete all the tasks. So not only has it held me accountable, but y'all, I've already enrolled tonight. I just sent my link to someone. So if she enrolls, that's 13 distributors for me and this month. And I'm not a mass distributor enroller, but guess what? I'm saying to myself now, I am a mass distributor enroller because I've changed my mindset. And every connection I make, you make 30 new connections, I'm dropping one little simple message to them. And it is what Jade told me to do in July, because I was enrolling all these customers and Jade was like, I mean, it's great, but why are you enrolling, 70 customers and 3 distributors? The point is, we want distributors on our team. That's really where your organization is going to grow. So she said, every single person you talk to, every single person you put up a Host to Post. So if you're getting your 10 Host to Post up a day, that's 300 new people right there that you're asking this question to. And I'll put it in the chat what I've been saying, but now every single person gets asked, hey, side note, have you ever thought about doing, or I don't even know what it says. It says, hey, side note, it's in my word board. Hey, side note, let me just send it to myself real quick. It says, let's see, real quick. Okay, it says, hey, side note, why are you not doing this too? Seriously, I just checked out your page and you would be amazing. You guys, yesterday, the distributor that I enrolled was just somebody who put up a hair, skin, and nail Host to Post for me. And she said, do what? And I'm like, do what I do. You just posted a product post for me. You're doing what I do. And she was like, well, what do you do? And so then I just like gave her my little scripts for what I do. And she enrolled. And she didn't have the $99. She said she had $50. So I taught her how to sell 4 coffee samples, right? This is super easy. And this is what you need to follow every single day. The last thing I'm going to say about how much this has changed my life in the last 2 weeks, I was the girl that was hesitant. Let's be transparent with each other. I am totally transparent with you guys. You could ask me anything and I'm an open book, but put in the chat right now, you can just put me or one, whatever. If you are like, I just don't need something like this. I don't need this. What I got going on is what I got going on. I'm enrolling customers. I'm enrolling distributors. Do I really need this? I don't think I do. You guys, that was me up until 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, okay? I was tracking, I was using my host to post trackers, and I thought, I don't need this. What I'm doing is working. You've got to suck it up. If people around you are having success with something, you've got to follow their lead, okay? Especially when it's leaders and top income earners in the company. The host to post tracking was great, and I pat myself on the back for being so consistent with my 3-ring binder doing that. But printing this off, it covers all the things. It doesn't just cover host to post. It covers posting about you. Do you know how important it is to post about your story every single day? And I don't want to hear, I don't have a story. I'm not like you, Amy. I haven't made $1 million. I'm not at the top of the company. You have a story. Why did you start? Where are you going? Are some of you going to get that $8,000 bonus this month? Are some of you shooting for a really awesome January and February when we know if you haven't been around in the wintertime, these burr months, these October, September, November, December, those months right there are going to plan what your spring looks like. And some of you guys are sitting here at distributor, and I promise you, you can be triple diamonds by March if you get your butt into gear right now and you do this. And then when Mark announces all those bonuses, you know, at conference, however we go to conference or see conference, you're gonna have all these sheets to fall back on. You're gonna have top 2, 300, 600, 900, or wait, that's 10 a day, right? Yeah, if you're doing 10 a day, which I shoot for, so yeah, 300, 600, 900 people you're gonna have asked. And that's not even including the other people you're talking to about the products. Because if somebody wants to enroll as a customer for Skinny Brew, you're still gonna ask them, hey, why don't you do this with me? I just looked at your page, you would be awesome. So that's just 900 potentials from host to post if you're doing this every day. And the last thing I want to say is the time excuse. You got to make time, y'all. If some of you have these big dreams and these big goals, and the one thing that's holding you back is yourself. I know it's hard. And I know some of you guys are listening to me talk and you're probably like, well, it's so easy for you to say, Amy, you don't have to get up early and go to work. You don't do this. I did. I worked all the way up until ambassador. I was a school counselor. I was a head volleyball coach, an assistant basketball coach, because when you're in education, you do anything for stipend money to raise your paycheck a little bit more. And my daughter was in and out of the hospital weekly for blood draws because of her rare genetic disorder. And I was married, and I took care of my house. I did all the things. And I did it all the way through ambassador and then some. I was ambassador for 4 months before I walked away from my job. And the reason that I did is because I signed my contract for the next year, because I'm not going to lie, I still was like, I love my job. What if this goes away, right? You still, even as an ambassador, I'm like, what if this goes away? But when I signed my contract, and the very day I signed my contract and I turned it into my principal was my first ambassador diamond check, you guys. And my contract that I was going to make with a master's degree for the whole 2015, 2016 school year, it doesn't include my, $2,000 a year head coach or assistant coach stipend and then whatever. But my contract was going to be $35,905. Y'all, I literally turned it into my principal. I then got back to my office. I closed the door because I got a text saying that commissions posted. It was my first ambassador diamond check. My ambassador diamond check for the first month I was an ambassador diamond was like $5.23 more than what I was going to make in a flippin' year. Okay? So at that moment, I was like, I don't care if this doesn't work forever. I'm not going back to work. So when the school year was over, I retired. But I will tell you, it did not happen without sacrifice. So if you can't find 30 to 45 minutes to fill this out a day, your dreams aren't going to come true. Because the only person who's in charge of making your dreams happen is you. Go look in the mirror and talk to yourself. Tell yourself, remind yourself what you're fighting for. For me, it was a 2.5-year-old little girl whose mom and dad couldn't afford her metabolic formula and food that she needed. We got no assistance from the state of Missouri that we live in, and we were going to be in debt for the rest of our lives because we pay $1,000 to $3,000 a month for her medical stuff. her dream, or her was my dream. That was me. That was enough for me to stay up later, to get up earlier. I did not want to live in debt for the rest of our lives. That's miserable. And I know some of you guys out there are like that. I know you are. But I'm telling you right now, this season that we're in, with the September, October, November, December, you're going to have less and less people that are interested. It's normal. It is normal this time of year. But it doesn't have to be that way. And it's not going to be that way if you put this into place. And then let me tell you, it's like clockwork. This is my 7th year experiencing February, March, whatever. People come out of the woodwork. They're going to see what you're doing. They're going to follow you the next 3 or 4 months. And if you're consistent and you don't give up on them, they are going to join you. But you have to do the things right now, and you have to sacrifice. I don't remember a lot in the 13 months I was pushing to ambassador, and it's okay. I would do it all over again for the time that I've had the last 5.5 years at home, having the freedom of time and not having to worry about money. That is the best feeling in the world. And that is me, and I'm sorry, sometimes I get really excited about life, and I just know that this is what every single person needs on this Zoom. Print it out, stop making excuses, and just fill it out. And I will tell you this last thing. We formed a small accountability Kpi Group Chats, and there's several of them among our team, and we are just keeping each other. It's not a chat for side conversation or anything like that, okay? So you just upload a picture of your KPI sheet every single day. I'm gonna tell you one thing. There are days where people don't fill out all of it. That's okay. That happens. It happens to me, y'all. There's been, out of the last 11 days since we've started it, I think there's been like 4 days. Actually, if I'm being honest with you, number one, the personal development task, it is like, that's the most important. And if I'm being honest, which I told you I will, looking at my KPI sheet last week, I did it 3 days out of 7. Okay, so now I know going into next week, Amy, your cup is empty. This is the first thing you need to be doing, because you can't help other people and be there for your team if you're not, helping yourself. So it's okay. It is supposed to be something that you can track your data so you can get better. But if you're not knowing what you're doing each day, how are you going to start next week better? How are you going to aim better if you don't know what you're getting done? And I guarantee you, if you're not tracking yourself, you don't know what you're getting done. I promise you that. You may think you're getting a lot done, but you're not. All right. Love y'all. Sorry, Shay. I think I just had one of my little Amy moments. Sometimes it happens.
Oh, I think we would have all been fine just listening to that for the next hour. I am hyped. Who's hyped? That was freaking legit. Okay, so I do have one more question for you, because I don't relate to this aspect of life, so I want people to hear it from you. In the chat, how many of you are moms, or you're college students, or you work a full-time job and you're doing this business at the same time? Probably 99.9% of you. I worked this business before. I worked a job as well. So I was busy before this, just like Amy said, like we've walked the walk both places, but I want you to kind of chat with them about like your day. So do you like wake up immediately and do this right away? Are you just getting it into the crevices? Like, how are you making sure you complete this daily with the stuff you have going on?
Here's the thing. This can be done in an hour, you guys. Seriously, an hour. If you have an hour of uninterrupted time, I will tell you that when I worked full time, if I had this KPI sheet, I would have had to split it up. I would have, because I had to leave my house every morning at 6:45. I had to get my daughter ready, drop her off, like all the things. We had practice after school. So I would have to fit it into my day. So I always like to ask my distributors, like, I like them to tell me, when is your hour a day you're going to find? But for me right now, life's crazy, y'all. I mean, I'm on a verge of, tell me right now who all is staying at home with their kids, like being a teacher, or who are teachers right now, or, every time I talk about it, I want to cry, because it's like, this is not the world that we want to live in right now. This is, but we have to. We've put on our big girl pants, and this is what we have to do. So yeah, I'm waking up at 5 a.m., well, really 4:45, 4:30 to go work out at 5:15, because I have to. Working out to me, if I don't get workout 5 times a week, 4 times a week, it's just not good. Like, that's my time, right? And then I come home and I'm on Zoom for like at least an hour. My daughter, the 2 days she goes to school, she leaves around 8 o'clock. So then when she gets on the bus, I'm back in my office and I'm working 5 to 6 hours a day on work. But this is my full-time job. So I had the realization, I'm going to be quite honest. I had the realization a year ago when Ashley Renau, she's an ambassador diamond, we became accountability partners. I really think it's important to have somebody who does not affect your paycheck. So someone who's not on your team above you or below you, who's not afraid to call you out, who's not afraid to say, Amy, where are you? Why are you not on Zoom? I was spending my day going shopping with friends, eating out. I wasn't treating this like a full-time job. But if you really want this to work, you have to treat it like a job, you guys. This is a job. And for those of you saying like it's not fun, or it's just I don't have the passion anymore to do it. How do I do it? Jobs aren't meant to be fun. Like what we do, this is fun compared to like the crap my husband's dealing with right now as an assistant principal, right? So like you just got to switch your mood to know that like I compare this to marriage. Marriage isn't fun all the time, right? Being a mom isn't fun all the time. I mean, I'm not in love with my husband every day of the month, every day of the year. That's just real life. I love him and we find new ways to fall in love. But I mean, the thing is that's my commitment. So this is my commitment and this is my job. So I'm doing this. The first thing I do is I do all my tasks. I do not, if like someone responds back to me in a message, I don't quit my task to go answer back. I make sure I at least get 5 to 10 host to posts up a day, do all these things, and then I will go back and I'll do all the messaging and stuff like that. So I just make a goal every day to finish this first thing before I move on to anything else.
So good. Thank you so much for all of that. You're the best. Okay,
Oh,
Brielle,
thanks.
you
No,
should be
you're
able to
the
unmute
best.
yourself and you can share your story with us.
Hey guys, my name is Brielle. I'm excited to be here. I am 25 years old. I'm from New Jersey and I just went presidential in June. Honestly, it still feels pretty surreal to me, even though it's been a couple months. I started this business 3 years ago, little over 3 years now, and I remember being so busy in college. I pretty much had like all the excuses to not be good at this business. I was shy, I was awkward, I was so busy, and I just really counted myself out before ever really joining. And then I remember I actually didn't go even Ruby until almost a year into the business. I remember going to our conference and I was still executive. And I watched all these people walk up on our stage for our Millionaires Club. And I was like, what the what? You can make $1 million in this business? Like, that's insane. And I just remember that moment, like I could have quit and said, this business is not for me. Like, none of those girls are like me. Or I could have just dove in and become more disciplined with myself, because I was definitely one of those people that was busy in all the wrong ways. I had just graduated from college at this point. So there was no excuse anymore. Like I had time in the day to do this business. It was just 8 o'clock at night and I looked at my phone. I was like, wait, I did absolutely nothing, even though I told myself I was so busy today. And so then I just really decided, and that's when I went Ruby, Emerald, Diamond, pretty much back to back. I didn't go double diamond until the following year, and then triple diamond the following year after that. And now in my third year, I just went presidential. But honestly, discipline has always been the biggest thing that's gotten me from one level to the next. So I was definitely one of those people that told myself I didn't really need these KPIs. Like I was doing my host to post and stuff like that, but I didn't realize I was missing a lot of the other things on this list. Our team did a similar thing where we like made our own little version of it. I don't know if you guys can see any of it. Basically, it just says like Boss Tribe's daily task list. We have 10 different tasks. And then at the bottom, there is like your host to post. So I have like added 10 host to post daily. And on the weekends, I know for me, like I am definitely like going to spend a little bit more time with my family. If you take a Sabbath on the weekends, like I look at it as percentages. So I usually check off 15 out of 10 host to post on Fridays, because I know Saturdays I'm probably not going to get up any, if like a couple. So I look at it as a whole, and just doing that in the last month or so, I was enrolling a lot of low customers, but like I think Amy said it, like my distributor enrollments have skyrocketed. And then also my team's enrollments too in our discipline, because everyone's doing this. And something that we do is that we have check-ins with each other. I have a group chat with my leaders, and we send screenshots of our host to posts. So that way no one can lie, like the screenshots are right there. And I feel pressured myself, like I need to get my host to post in to show them that I'm doing the things daily and not slacking. So I have that with my leaders, and then we also have like many other groups with some rubies, some emeralds that are all working together to hit those goals. And then we do 10-minute check-ins that we schedule, and it's super short and sweet. Like I'll just message my triple, and I'll be like, okay, like, hey, let's do Mondays at 10 a.m. real quick, 10 minutes, then we'll hop on the power hour right after, get our KPIs done. But we check in with each other, and I tell them, listen, like, if I looked at this list and one of your teammates, like if your double diamond, to my triple, I would say, like, if your double diamond was doing what you just showed me, would you be happy with it? And sometimes, like, she's been honest with me and was like, no, I wouldn't be proud of what I did. And I give them tough love, and I say, okay, like then next week come back to me with a different result, because your enrollments are going to show for that too. And you always want to be doing more work than your teammates. Like you want to show your team, you want to out enroll them and show them like that you're leading from the front. So that's an important thing that I tell my leaders, and we continue to check in weekly. Another thing that I like to do is tell myself, like, I won't get back today. Like if I look at that list and I'm, not proud of the things that I did, like I'm not gonna, that day doesn't like magically come back. Like if there's only 30 days in the month, there's only 30 days in the month. So I'm consistent with this chart, especially in the middle of the month when a lot of people lit up in the middle of the month, because I know that the work that I'm putting in today are going to be not just tomorrow's results, but like the week after too, when we have follow-ups and things like that. When people say they need to think about it, I try not to let them think about it, but it just happens sometimes where people don't always sign up right away. So why would you wait until the 25th to start getting your host to post out and start doing these daily tasks when you could do this the whole month, and then you're going to enroll so many loyal customers? And that's why I'm always constantly enrolling throughout the entire month. Something that we added to ours is for the host to post, we get out 10 a day, but we do 2 partnering up host to post included in that. So if you don't know what a partnering up host to post is, basically it's like a host to post to get out more host to post for the giveaways. And the reason why we do that, and I like to do it either first thing in the morning or before I go to bed, so that way it's way easier for me to get out my host to post. And I include those every single day, and usually they're going to blow up, and then I'm going to ask those people to be a distributor. And those are 2 new potential distributors that I have every single day. So partnering ups are included in that as well. And something I did realize with all of these different tasks too was that I was doing my host to post, but I was missing a lot of the other like important things. You can't just do one or the other. Like try implement everything. Like it really does not take that long of your day. It's funny, I don't know if you guys have seen like the TikToks, you have to stop, you know what I'm talking about, with like the music, you have to stop doing whatever. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. But it's like a TikTok where it's like, you have to stop doing this. I keep telling myself, like, you have to stop telling yourself you're busy when you're not when you're not actually busy. Like that is one thing that I get from so many people. Oh, but Brielle, like I am so busy today. I'm like, well, how busy were you? Like, what did you actually do today? Oh, I went to the grocery store. That's it? You were busy? Like what? So you have to stop doing that. And whenever I see that TikTok, like now I kind of laugh at it because I think of that all the time in relation to the KPIs, because I feel like I didn't realize how much I wasn't busy and how much I wasn't actually being productive until I started doing the KPIs. Like, yes, I was doing the host to post, but like Lindsay was saying, like I wasn't interacting enough. And then I was wondering why my stories weren't getting a lot of swipes up. I wasn't growing my network. And then I was like, I'd follow like 40 people, but on my KPIs, I'll write down like 40 check mark. That's another thing, like I kind of added to my list so that way I can see like how many times I followed 40 people in a day, rather than, oh wait, I feel like I followed a lot of people today, but actually in reality, I only followed like 40 people before I went to bed. So sometimes we feel like we're doing so much, but in reality, we are not. We're not being income producing. And it's so important to know as a newbie too, because this business is so simple if you just break down these tasks throughout your day. And I used to set alarms for myself, like for doing certain things like this. Whenever I was sending messages, I would have 5 alarms set for my day. Or in times where I normally procrastinate, like I always procrastinate to walk into the gym. I just sit in my car for 5 minutes because I don't want to go on that treadmill. Like as much as I love the gym, I love being done when I'm done. It's my happy place. I still procrastinate to go in there. So what I do when I'm procrastinating to go to the gym is I sit in my car and I send a batch of 20 messages. Like a lot of you guys you're on Cheyenne's team, so you're young. Like you probably go to the bar. I'm not afraid to take an extra 5 minutes in the bathroom at the bar to send messages in the bathroom at the bar. Like I'm not afraid to do that. I'll take an extra 2 minutes to send messages wherever I have to send messages to get my KPIs done, because I know that's what has to get done to get the results that I wouldn't have hit presidential if I wasn't still doing these tasks daily. So if you want to get tomorrow's results, then you have to put in this action daily. And the KPIs have seriously changed the game for not just me, but also our team, because those small steps have gotten us to serious goals.
So many good tips, guys. This Zoom was so much better than I thought it was going to be. Like you always like set your expectations and it happens and you're like, wow, this was so good. And I love that we were talking about time, because so many people I hear that from, they're like, well, I was just so busy. I'm like, you're the same 24 hours in the day that I do. And the amount of stuff I got done while also being busy shows that sometimes you just have to say, instead of saying, I don't have time, switch it around in your head and say, it's just not a priority to me. It hits a little bit different than when you say, oh, I was too busy. Oh, it wasn't a priority. That's what that means, because you're not making this business a priority. And it goes deeper than that. Is your team a priority? Is your promotion a priority? Like you really, really have to get deep into those thoughts and think about that when you're choosing other things before that. And I love that. Also, you said it took you a year to go Ruby, and now 3 years in, you're a presidential diamond. And it took me 1 month to go Ruby, and 3 years in, I was a presidential diamond. So it just shows how much, like, there's no timeline. Like if you can just choose what you're doing every day. No, I was not doing a KPI tracker every single day, but I was doing the work every day. I've always shared this business. I've always talked to new people. Like when you can be consistent with anything, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to go Ruby or how long it takes you to go double, like we're ultimately going to the same goal in the same amount of time. And so I wanted to share something too, that the way that I kind of viewed this, when I first printed it out, I was like, this kind of looks like a report card. Like the old ones that I got in elementary school, when it was like, the ones you fold out and they had the checks and our teachers filled them in with the pen. That's what this makes me think of. And so this is truly a report card for you, to see, okay, now that I had the overview of the week, like Amy just did with herself, I didn't do the personal development I was supposed to do. So now the next week I'm going to start out with an empty cup. Like I really need to make sure I'm doing that personal development heavily because I didn't finish it. So this is now a place for you to finally have something where when you say, I'm missing my promotion. Like my volume isn't growing. My enrollments are down. Okay, where is it reflecting? What is it specifically that you're not doing that is aiding to you not getting results in your business? And also always remember, guys, that it takes 21 days to make a habit. This will not be easy just starting out. Like I started it yesterday and I already was like, oh man, I have a lot of check marks I really have to get done because I'm not used to doing these things that I haven't been necessarily doing. And so give yourself time. Okay, give yourself grace, like Amy was talking about, of making sure like some days you're not going to get it done all the way, but don't allow yourself to get into that habit. Try and push yourself every day to get into that habit of doing everything on this KPI tracker to get it done. Do any of y'all have any last minute things that you wanted to share, or things that you forgot about that you want to add on?
I just want to say one thing. Tasha in the message, I think I'm saying your name right, was just like talking about her situation right now and how she works 40 hours a week and drive time and all that. And I do want to talk about that, because if we don't address those issues about, there's a lot of you on here, your day is packed. your day is so packed. You are working 40 hours a week at another job. You are then trying to make sure your kid is doing all their virtual homework, maybe kids. Then you're making dinner, making sure dinner's on the table and all that. And it is so easy in those moments to be like, this is never going to happen for me. Like, you look at my story, or you look at, Cheyenne's story, and you're like, oh, this is so out of touch. I'm nothing like them. I don't have the followers they have. I don't have blah, blah, blah. I want you to know something right now, that in those moments when I was working full time, I looked at those leader stories as inspiration, because here's the deal. I'm no one special. Like, I'm not. And Cheyenne, honestly, probably isn't. I mean, we all know we love her. She is special, but you know what I mean? Like, she's not this crazy girl who just has all these superhero powers to go be at the top of the 1% of the company. Like, the only reason we are where we are, and you're still where you are, is we just made up our minds that we were going to do it whatever it took. So that means you're going to have to make sacrifices. Do you know how many times I didn't put Caroline to sleep? My husband did it. And if you're a single mom, I know that's not an option for you. So let's talk about other things. But do you know how many times I said no to friends because when they wanted to do something on the weekends? Or I stopped watching TV with my husband? That's hard. That's his love language. Like, he likes to decompress watching TV, and he loves it when I'm on the couch. I don't even have to watch it. I just have to be near him. But I stopped doing that for 2 years. But I let the people in my life know why I was doing that for them. And yeah, there were times when he would look at me like, well, how do you know you're going to get to the top? How do you know? You're so focused on this, and how do you know this is going to work for us? And I just looked at him and I said, because it worked for her. Allie Antonacci, my enroller, who is the top, she's an ambassador. She's amazing. She's one of my very dearest best friends. But we weren't even friends when I joined with her. She was a friend of a friend or she was an acquaintance of someone that we both were friends with. But it worked for her. So the only reason it wouldn't work for me is if I didn't do it. But you can't just do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then expect to be where we are. It's a constant, consistent thing. And the way I looked at it is I had to work. I mean, I have to work. I have to work. I have to bring money into my family. We could not afford for just my husband's teaching salary. Now he's an assistant principal, but we still couldn't afford all this stuff because our daughter's medical bills are they're at least $1,000 a month. Most months they're more than that. So when I looked at that and I just said, I am going to have to be a school counselor for the next 25 to 26 years of my life. Like, I can't retire until then. So then why would I not do something on the side? Now, that doesn't mean you don't take a Sabbath. I wholeheartedly, I totally think one day you should just be for your family. The way I like to do it, and I'm bad at it, but I like to do Saturday night to Sunday night. So like Saturday afternoon to Sunday, or like Monday night. Like, I don't like to take a whole day, if that makes sense. Like, so if I do it Saturday night to Sunday night, I still can go be present a little bit on Sunday night before I go to bed, if that makes sense. But you've got to do it. And if you don't want to commit, then don't. Then I would just walk away, because all you're going to do is just frustrate yourself, because you're going to be like, why am I not where Amy is? Why am I not where Cheyenne is? But if you have big, big goals, this company will do anything that you want it to do. I am living proof. If she's not living proof for you guys at the age that she is, doing all the things that she did, and it's not because, I'll tell you one thing real quick. I get in the comparison game a lot with these young girls who are living it up. TikTok, Shay over here has her hair that's gorgeous. Mine's falling out because I'm 35 and already went through menopause. You know what I mean? And I was so I'm not doing TikTok. I'm not doing TikTok. I'm not doing TikTok. And then I finally went to her TikTok, went to all these other people. Jocelyn Yates is another one that you're just oh, please, girl, I can't even watch you, right? But I go to them and I once again remind myself, I don't have to be her. I am who I am. And you guys, I started doing TikTok. I copied what she did. Success leaves clues. Go copy what we're doing. I copied her TikTok videos for the first couple weeks and other people, and then I just did things that other people did on my For You page. I committed to doing 2 to 3 a day, and I already just in the last 30 days of me doing that, I'm looking at my little application thing right now. 627 people in the last 30 days have filled out my application. Why? Because I did something uncomfortable. It takes me 30 minutes a day to do 3 TikToks. 30 minutes a day because I'm literally copying what they're doing. This is how easy this business is. But so many of y'all don't want to sacrifice, but you want the $30,000 paychecks. It doesn't work like that. So you've got to make up your mind. And I don't know how much easier and how much more we can spoon feed our people. This right here, this is spoon feeding. This is all you have to do. But go do it. And then I want you to tell me in 6 months where you're at. All right, that's it. Promise.
So good. So good. Lindsay, do you have anything to share? No pressure. No?
I'll add something in because Amy just lit a fire under my butt.
Yeah.
So, you know, oh my God, Amy, you just blew my freaking mind. But I just want to add in, like, you guys have to understand that, like, every single day you have a choice to work this business or not, right? Like, it is a choice. Everything in life is a choice. Let's be real for a minute, right? And you can look at this and think, oh my God, this is so easy. I can do this. Are you willing to? You know, the one line that always got me, like, it literally, like, makes heat take over my body. It's like, are you interested in your dream life or are you committed to it? And the thing is if you're just interested in the thought of going diamond, you will stare at this all day long and just think, oh, I can. But if you are committed, hell bent on diamond, you will look at it and be like, I'm willing. I noticed for me, Sundays are really weird. So I have to put in a little bit extra time on Sundays. But you want to know what, guys? I forgot to add in my team's testimony real quick. Starting this, we technically started this 2 weeks ago, but we kind of started like a checklist about 3 months ago. 3 months ago, I cleared out our team page to 300 people. 3 months later, we have 600 people total in my team page. And that was me clearing it out, okay? So we have brought in so many new distributors. Our volume goes up at least 10K every single month. And it's all because we put a system into place. I ran with the runners. I linked arms with them. And I said, guys, if we are going to do this, we have to decide every single day. We have to make a choice every single day to do this, not just say we're going to, or make it look good to our newbies, because we have to lead first. You have to lead first. And if you're sitting here and you're thinking like, gosh, I really want, all these things happening. I want a team. You have to be the person that crosses this off first. You have to be the person that leads first. You have to make the choice every single day, even when you don't freaking feel like it, to do it. I'm sweating. But yeah, that's all I had to add in.
I love it. Okay, guys, if y'all felt so inspired by these 3 amazing humans for sharing tips with you, make sure you say thank you in the comments. Always make sure you also post that you're on a training. So post a boomerang really quickly, take a picture, post it on there, and tag us in it so that we can, I love doing that, and I get so many distributors from sharing the trainings that I do because people want to know they're going to be helped, okay? So every time you're on a Zoom, share that. But make sure you get your task list printed out. Make sure you're being consistent, and I'm going to share this recording, so I'm going to share the income disclosure statement, which is not a cute boomerang, so give me a second to take this off, but we're super proud of this, and that's that. Okay, but I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for hopping on here. I hope that this helped y'all and inspired you so much, and this will be up on my YouTube soon. Bye, guys. Good night.